Hi, my name is Angela, and I wanted to go over how I updated my application to switchterm one. I basically updated the database stuff from SQLite to rqlite. Why did I do that? The rqlite has a lot of stuff in order to scale, and security and consensus data and separating storage that turns into an API and lets you do HTTPS and TLS and so on and so forth, and set user security and everything. And then I had to go rqlite, which is like from a team of people, and one of them is also one of the main contributors also contributed to the Go rqlite. Anyways, it's kind of really easy to do. You would just open it here, or you could add kind of like a user security API stuff, and then do your queries. One thing you have to keep in mind is the word query, and then there's also write. And this right here would be kind of how you would, these are your parameters for writing or for querying. Anyways, so inside the project, let's see, do the regular old go run, generate server, whatever you want. It also takes the name from the database, so you don't have to have like multiple names, which is nice for testing. And then this is basically how it's opened up. And the actual database file, which used to be this one, which I could take out, it's not really used, is basically in these folders: assets, db, rqlite, bin, and it also uses authentication. And when you run the database stuff, this would be how you would run it. You get to choose it, and if you get out of this and get back in, it generates these each time you run it and randomizes it. And it's just another form of security, and you can update this. So then the actual queries, because you'll probably want to build up on top of this, look like this, but I had just updated it, and this isn't what it pulls down. It's just cached in my system. So if you actually go to the actual file, it's going to look like this. I try to clear my mod cache, but for whatever reason it keeps pulling this one down. Anywho, I'm sure in a day it'll change or whatever. These are basically the queries. Doesn't look incredibly different. It's just, it's this whole thing, which I guess is a little more complicated, but not entirely. It's the same statement, same variables. It's just kind of called something different. Also, the dbcon is updated, and that gets updated with the generated information. So it's the same as the config file. And then it would run it right here. But the thing is, in order to run the CLI, you would have to change this back to the normal whatever, because otherwise this isn't, it's not going to take the authentication. Anywho, so there's that, and basically you would be able to run the CLI then, and then what you can do on your own basically, in order to kind of do that, you would go to this folder and then go to terminal, and this is where the SQL or rqlite files are. It ain't gonna let me in just because well, you do have to do the chmod 755 rqlited, I believe, and then oh no, it was and this lets you connect to the CLI just because however it's running. And but the thing is, I don't think you could make queries, and just because it's unauthorized from the user. Again, you would just have to go back, change the dbcon. I'll eventually automate this part of it, but you'd have to, like I said, get rid of these and then go back and you will run, well, no. You have to go exit related, and then I think it's to run the actual cluster. So it's this part. You see how it looks a little different. And then you'd have to open up another one there. Then you'd have to do rqlite. Then I'll show you this stuff. I'll automate that part of it, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyways, you do select statements in here too. Well, the table isn't made yet, but yeah. And the instructions in here give you all the different commands you can do and everything, which is really nice. As far as the security stuff goes, I didn't automate the certificate stuff for the HTTPS. Only, well, eventually I'll do it probably in the HTTPS command, the certificate. You know, this whole these two. I'll probably just update them so that it does the database too. So yeah, that's kind of a cool thing, because then you could also grow the clusters. And there's monitoring of it. Yeah, you could run the different clusters if you wanted, with different kinds of security or ports or whatever heck else you want. It's kind of, yeah, it's neat. It's a full-fledged thing. It's made this from the sky from Google, which is pretty cool. Tells you all about it and everything. I think it's pretty neat stuff. But yeah, and then the gorqlite, just make sure you pay attention to write and query. You know, queries for select, write is for actually writing data. Update, same thing, it's for writing. Same thing with creating tables. This didn't work for me. I don't exactly know why, but it didn't. The create, pretty sure it's right, and it was working. Create table. So write one is how I did it. Anyways, yeah, so that's kind of how I update the application. After I update the security aspect of it. There's one project that I kind of saw that I thought was really neat. And that is this one, Qmantra, and it uses the, I'm not even too sure how to say, QMEU. And what is this sort of thing? Well, you would just install this stuff, and it basically runs an operating system, and it's through Go. I thought was pretty cool. So I have a thing here for it, and if you, so this is an ISO of an actual Linux distribution. You can run any one, but in order to run it, you would install these. Well, this one is really all you need, and then you would install the Go application. You don't need to do all this other stuff. This kind of creates like a name for it, I guess you could say, and you get to set the CPU and GPU, not GPU, but the CPU and RAM. If you did this, test 2, how many cores, RAM, you add the number and then you do G, capital G, it's the check mark, yeah. And then you choose the chipset and whether or not you want to use a certain disk thing for it. And then in order to actually like run the thing, you do this, and then actually let me ISO. Apparently this is using technology that DigitalOcean open sourced, which is pretty neat. You just hit enter, and you choose that name you created, whatever, and yeah. And then you see a running thing of the application, which is really neat. I just chose a small one or whatever. But yeah, if you want to try different Linux distros kind of through Go, and it's, like I said, it's what DigitalOcean uses. Yeah, there you go. I just thought that was really neat. I don't know. Eventually I want to work that into switchterm somehow. Only because, I mean, the code doesn't look incredibly that hard, but I'm not 100% sure about the pieces of it, sort of. I know it uses some of these other packages. Yeah. I just would like to dig through this, sort of, because I just think it's really neat. And he explains kind of what it's about, what it uses. It looks like he just shortened it up with some commands. I thought was really neat. Yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff. Run multiple ones, like KVM. I mean, really customize it. It's really cool. Eventually I'll try to kind of figure that out more and hopefully be able to allow you to choose whatever you want, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's just what I'm kind of working on, what I did, and if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, thank you.